Our industry is going to be very strongly influenced by technology. So deep dive into areas of this technology that can really make you stand out and to enable us to deliver the world-class fantastic services that all of us FMs want to deliver and that we strive really hard to deliver.
This is the Asset Champion Podcast, where we talk with facilities maintenance and asset management leaders about the industry trends, challenges, and technologies impacting your organization. This show is powered by Eptura, the global worktech company providing software solutions for people, workplaces, and assets to enable you to work your world. Hey folks, welcome back to the Asset Champion Podcast. It's me, your host, Mike P., and I am really excited about today's conversation. I am talking for the first time with a new friend from the facilities management world. And when I say the world, I mean the other side of the world. He is joining us today from Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. And he is a UK-born FM professional who has moved to the Middle East to practice as the general manager of a company called Serco, and we're going to learn all about it. So everyone, please join me in welcoming Carl Fennell to the show. Carl, welcome to the Asset Champion Podcast.
Thank you, Mike. That was quite an introduction. So, thank you. I'm excited to be on it. Speaking to you all the way from Abu Dhabi, a few thousand miles between us. And I'm
Right.
I'm really looking forward to the conversation.
As am I, Carl. And we have had a couple of chances to chat briefly to prepare for this podcast conversation. But, I'll be honest, as an American living in Washington, D.C., growing up in the States, I have visited some other parts of the world, but I've never been to your part of the world where you are now working as a facilities and asset management leader. For the benefit of me and anybody else who had a U.S. public school education, I know that the UAE is part of the Middle East, and the Emirates there are like 7 of them, and Abu Dhabi's one, and Dubai is the other that we know of. Help me out. Help educate us as to the part of the world we're talking about here.
Okay, so Dubai is the one that everybody knows.
Right.
Dubai is the one that everyone thinks is the capital.
Yeah.
It's actually not. The capital is where I am here in Abu Dhabi. There are all 7 Emirates. I'll try and get them all myself. So we've got Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Ajman, Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, Al Quwain.
Wow.
And there's one other which I always forget.
Oh, no.
That's 6.
6 or 7 is pretty good, Carl.
I'm doing the last one an injustice. I've only been here 10 years. I think I'd know by now, wouldn't you? So
after 10 years,
yes,
your colleagues are going to tease you about that one. But that's great. That's more than I knew, for sure. The only thing I ever hear about is, like you say, Dubai is, we all think that's the center of the world over there.
Yes.
And Abu Dhabi I've heard of, but can't quite place it. So really appreciate you clearing that up. And so, Carl, how does one leave his home country of the United Kingdom and end up working in the Middle East?
Okay, so that's a very good question. It happened by accident. Well, not by accident. It happened in a way that I wouldn't have expected it to happen. Now, if I go back to my childhood, my father actually worked overseas.
Okay.
I lived in Kenya, believe it or not, for 2 years as a baby. My father worked there, and then he moved to Saudi Arabia, and I went back to the UK.
Wow.
I've always had it in the back of my mind that I've wanted to work overseas. Not really something I broadcasted, but as I went through my career, you gain contacts as you normally do. And I worked for a company called Molam, and they were bought and turned into Carillion. You may have heard of Carillion.
Oh, yes.
And we worked on a bank contract for them for a few years. And one of the senior managers, I got to know him through my boss, and we struck up a bit of a friendship. He actually got a job out in the Middle East, and he needed some support. He needed some help. He thought of me. He actually messaged me one day on my birthday on LinkedIn, completely out of the blue, and asked me if I'd ever thought about moving abroad and working overseas. And it was a dream of mine. He didn't know that. It was just really strange how that happened. So to answer your question, it was by chance through a contact that I'd made through the early part of my career.
Wow. I love that story, Carl. The dream comes true.
Yes.
And you didn't even plan it that way.
No.
So that's wonderful when it all comes together. And I have to give a shout out to Trisha Chapman, who connected us via LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And she's an incredible leader on LinkedIn with over 100,000 followers. And she says she helps people enter the UAE and Australian job markets by building personal brands that work. So kudos to Trisha for that role. Check her out, everybody. But how did you meet Trisha and what brought us together?
Again, it was kind of by chance. I was doing a course a couple of years ago, again through somebody that I found on LinkedIn, and she had a working relationship with Trisha. I wanted to refresh my LinkedIn profile. She put me in touch with Trisha, and we've kind of stayed in touch, and it's just really moved on from there. And
wonderful. Through
the fact that we stayed in touch, she heard that I did some podcasts, and it was something that I was interested in, mainly around mental health. But she was supportive of that. She said, "Hey, look, why don't I have a look around and see if I can find something of interest that you can appear on?" And your name was put forward, and I jumped at the chance.
Suddenly, DJ Mike P found his way into your world.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's great. Well, I love it. And I am so thankful for tools like LinkedIn, which allow us to connect and to share these stories around our world of facilities management and operational excellence. And as you mentioned, we'll even brush on mental health, because this show is all about the human beings who care for the built environment and create places and spaces where people can thrive. So I want to hear your perspectives on all of that. But Carl, before we go on, I love to learn a little bit more about the personality of my guests, and I do that by asking about music. So what is your favorite type of music or artist that gets you inspired?
I don't really have a single favorite. I've got bands that I listen to. I like, I'm a 90s child, right? So I grew up in the 90s when Oasis were massive. So they were a big part of my life. Indie music was really on the up at that point. The Oasis and Blur, the battle between the two of them. I've always had music around me as a child, even so I listened to Simon and Garfunkel. I listened to Pink Floyd, Queen.
Wow.
I love live music. I love going to see groups and bands, and I'm fortunate that my wife is mad keen on music as well. So we'll go and see things together, which is nice to do at the end of a busy week.
I love it. Yes. Wow, so many great artists there you listed, Carl. But the one that jumped out when you were talking about the Oasis and Blur era. One of the Blur tunes that made it across the pond to the US and really had an impact on me. I use it to this day when bringing people up on stage. It's one of the best walk-up songs, I call it, when I'm introducing one of my colleagues here at Aptura. Shout out to John Hildebrands. He's based in London, and he is a huge fan of Song 2.
Yes.
Ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding. Woohoo!
Yes.
Come on, Carl. I'm just kidding. We don't have to sing it together. That's all I know. No, that opening intro, that guitar riff and that jam is just over the top. Perfect for getting people fired up. So thank you for reminding me of that. I love it. I love it. Good. The other thing I like to do before we get too far is inspire the audience. Carl, we are here in 2026, another new year. And it's time to get motivated as we try to care for the built environment. Do you have a favorite quote you could share with us?
I think probably the one that sticks out the most is that people rarely remember what you said or did, but they remember how you made them feel.
Yes.
I think that's something that resonates with me. You mentioned a few minutes ago about people, managing people. I thoroughly enjoy. It's the thing that I love the most about the role and my job that I have. And I think that one particular quote there is probably the most spot on quote that I could probably come up with. So that really does resonate with me.
It does with me as well, Carl, because it really is what I try to do on this podcast and any opportunity I have to interact with our community, whether it's speaking at a conference like IFMA or something like that. It's all about making people feel how valuable their role is and the impact they have on people in the workplace and the built environment. So that's wonderful. So, Carl, the other thing I wanted to ask you is about the title of this podcast. It's called the Asset Champion Podcast. And I wonder, when you hear that title and you knew you were going to be a guest on this show, what comes to mind for you? What do you think it takes to be a leader in the world of asset and facility management today?
I think for me, being an FM and asset manager leader today, it means combining technical accuracy with people-centered leadership. I think it's about understanding asset life cycles, risk, data, compliance, all of that good stuff, but also recognizing that assets only perform well when the people maintaining them are supported, trained, and trusted. Mm-hmm. I think strong asset leadership today is about long-term thinking. It's about aligning strategy, systems, and culture so that assets are safe and sustainable throughout their life, not just for the operation of today, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's the theme that rises up again and again on this show. And we need to take that holistic view of the built environment. And there are so many elements involved. In fact, this is a great lead into your role at Serco. You are general manager, which in the title itself sounds like it covers a broad scope and a lot of things. Tell us a little bit more about the work you do and what you're focused on here as we enter the new year.
Yeah, so my role is general manager. It's broad, as you say, in the statement that it gives. I actually manage a single contract here in Abu Dhabi. It's a grade A commercial tower. It's a total facilities management, a TFM contract, and we deliver, we try and deliver a very good service to our clients. So sure. My day comprises of it could be hard services, it could be soft services, catering, concierge, butlers, mailroom, transportation. So it's never a dull moment, and it's a lot to bring together. It's a lot to gather and put your arms around and make sure that everything's working well. I have a very good, strong team of people. The other thing that we do is I don't know if you've heard of nationalisation or emiratisation. That is government initiatives to get local people into work, because what historically happened is these are fairly new countries, right? So in order to build them to what they are today, and Dubai in particular is a magnificent place, they needed expatriate expertise. So in come all of the expats with all of their knowledge and all of their enthusiasm, and then they start to build this amazing country. What kind of happens is the locals, they struggle to get into work. So what the UAE has done over the last few years is they've introduced emiratisation, which puts the onus on private sector to employ UAE nationals, as it is here in the UAE, into roles to give them training, exposure, experience, and to give them meaningful and purposeful work. So
interesting.
For me, that's a very big part of what we do. That's a very big part of my day, making sure that everybody is happy in what they're doing, that they've got all the things that they need to do the job that they have, and that the UAE nationals are getting the support that they need and they deserve.
Wonderful. I've not heard of that, Carl, but very interesting, and I'm glad you shared that.
Okay.
And you said earlier something that resonated with me about the role of the FM. Never a dull moment. I hear that all the time.
Yes.
Every day is new. Every day is a wonderful adventure where you get to be challenged and have different opportunities to shine. And really, that's one of the things that I hear over and over again that makes the profession of facility management so attractive and intriguing, but also challenging. And I imagine there are some challenges facing your client and just more broadly, the people caring for the built environment there in Abu Dhabi and in the Middle East broadly. And then it may be a little different than what goes on in the UK or here in the US. Do you have any thoughts on some of the biggest challenges facing organizations today from your perspective?
Yeah, I think organizations are under pressure to do more with less.
Yes.
While caring for aging assets and meeting the higher expectations and around safety, sustainability, etc. I mean, I know I left the UK 10 years ago, but even back then, 10 years ago, the market here in the UAE is actually much more mature than it is in the UK. The expectation is massively high. There's a lot of construction. There's a lot of new build. There is an awful lot of expectation that the buildings need to stay looking brand new for longer. And when you've got a city that is literally built up out of the ashes in over a 20-year period compared to the UK, which is hundreds of years.
Right. Wow.
It is very different. Some of the challenges we face here, skill shortages, as you can imagine, when with the amount of construction, the amount of buildings, the number of buildings here, most of them high rise. We need a lot of people to do the work that we do. So it's clear that it's not just a technical challenge, it's a human challenge for us.
Right.
Buildings perform well when people maintaining them are supported and trained and empowered. Without that balance, the long-term resilience is at risk, essentially, in my opinion.
Indeed. Yeah, there are those big issues at the top level that really manifest at the day-to-day operational level, and you've described that quite nicely. Carl, I imagine that technology plays a role in all of this. Do you have any thoughts about some of the worktech tools and ways that technology is impacting the built environment and how it may play a role in the future of FM and asset management?
Yes, I do. I said a few moments ago that recruiting people can be a challenge. What technology does for us is it makes us a lot more efficient, or it has the potential to make us a lot more efficient.
Yes.
IoT sensors on buildings, using technology to do predictive maintenance, condition-based maintenance, that kind of stuff means that we potentially have less interventions on equipment, meaning that we potentially can run a building to a very high standard with less people. Mm-hmm. Technology it's here, it's now, and it's most definitely the future. If we don't keep up with the technology, then we're going to be left behind. There's some incredible things that people will come and talk to you about, and you just blows your mind.
Right. Sure.
IoT stuff in particular is critical to delivering the services that we deliver in the way that we deliver them. I'm a very strong believer in I'm not going to maintain a piece of equipment just because a piece of paper says I have to do it
right
every 3 months. If that unit's only used once in 3 months and it's been maintained just at the moment that you turn it on and then turn it off again, it's not going to need doing again. So using this kind of technology makes us more intuitive. It makes us a lot more efficient, and it prolongs the life of the asset. It has to. Long gone are the days where reactive maintenance is more prevalent than planned preventative maintenance or predictive or condition-based maintenance regimes that we might use out in the field.
Absolutely. Very well said. I agree. Carl, I'm looking at the clock. The time escapes us. It always goes by too fast when I'm having these conversations.
Does.
Yes.
It does.
So before I let you go, do you have any final thoughts or any advice you might share with my audience of FM and asset management leaders as we head into the future of the built environment together?
Yeah, I think we have touched on it. I think our industry is going to be very strongly influenced by technology. So probably the one piece of advice I would give for the future or for up and coming facilities managers is embrace that technology, keep up to speed with it, as difficult as that might be with the way that it's moving forward, but definitely deep dive into areas of this technology that can really make a difference and really make you stand out, and the organizations that you work for stand out, and to enable us to deliver the world-class fantastic services that all of us FMs want to deliver, and that we do, and that we strive really hard to deliver.
Great. Carl, that is so nicely said. I couldn't agree with you more. I really appreciate you sharing your experiences and insights with us. And I want to thank you for taking time to join me here on the Asset Champion podcast.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
And there you have it, everyone. Carl Fennell of Serco, based in Abu Dhabi, sharing with us just a few of his experiences and insights into the world of asset and facility management. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. If you'd like to learn more about the work that Carl does, please check the show notes. I'll share a link to his LinkedIn profile. And if you did find this discussion valuable, I'd appreciate it if you would share this podcast with a colleague or a friend, anyone who might like to join us as we continue on our journey to encourage and inspire you to be an asset champion. Peace out. You've been listening to the Asset Champion Podcast, powered by Aptura, the epicenter of the future of work. For more about how we help organizations to engineer a thriving environment by enhancing their employee experience, workspaces, and asset value, please visit aptura.com.